Hey guys, Scooter Man here. Boy, has it been some couple of weeks of weather. We have been hit with what I call the blizzard of 19, about 4 feet of snow, and that melted, and then we ended up with freezing rain and ice ponds, and then after that we got 100-kilometer-an-hour winds. And yeah, it's been a pretty interesting time for the weather. So I haven't been out much, but today I thought I'd take a chance and get out there and ride. So today I'm going to show you a little bit of Fort Erie that you haven't seen. I am going to go down the parkway towards Niagara Falls. And then I'm going to head up old town Fort Erie. Every town, every city in this region has an old town attached to it, and I'm going to show you my old town here in Fort Erie. The temperature outside today is about -6, and interesting enough, I got a text from my sister in California, and it was a snapshot of her Weather Network app. And on her Weather Network app, it showed -1. Now that's -1 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So there she is sitting in California with a -1. So temperatures have been kind of cold these last days. Today is actually kind of nice. It's warmed up to -6. Went to my buddy's Ron's place in Port Colborne last weekend, and again I stress batteries. In the winter, they do not like cold weather. Took me about 2.5 hours with an hour stop in Ridgeway halfway point. I charged there, and then I rode my scooter to Port Colborne, 30 kilometers. I got to Port Colborne and I was running on fumes. And then I went to go home after a full day's charge. Mind you, the scooter was sitting out in the cold charging, which is something that you shouldn't do if you can help it. You got to get it in someplace where the temperature is at least probably 50 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that, and get it charging in the warmth, because a cold charge doesn't do much for the scooter. You're still going to see a full charge on your battery meter, but trust me, I left Port Colborne. I had to have the lights on, which uses up a little bit of power. But I got back to Ridgeway and I had no power at all. So I had to sit in Ridgeway for an hour and a half and charge there. Made it to my office in Fort Erie. Sat there again for another hour and a half and charged there. Finally made it home. I left Port Colborne at 10 o'clock at night and I arrived at my place at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, cold weather and batteries don't mix. You have to be very careful about riding a scooter long distance in winter weather, and trust me, that's something I'm not going to be doing again for quite a while. Just too much. It wasn't a bad night, it was just a very long night. Again, watching Mr. Randy's rides over there, check out his channel. He's got a lot of stuff on the go. He's a real drama man, I'll tell you. he has a really good way of doing videos. They put a smile on your face, some of the stuff that he does. So you want to check it out. More than just ride scooters. He's actually into acting, and oh yeah, it's unbelievable what he can do. Anyways, check that out. So here comes the Niagara River now. Lake Erie is over to my right here, and it feeds into the Niagara River, and it continues down the river to Niagara Falls and into Lake Ontario. But over on in the distance there on the right, you can see the Peace Bridge coming up. That takes you from Fort Erie to Buffalo, New York, is across the river there with all the tall buildings is Buffalo. So that's can be a pretty busy bridge at times. There's a lot of traffic going back and forth between Canada and the United States. You can still see some of the ice forming out there. That's what happens when the temperatures get down to minus 30. The water starts to freeze. Up here on the right hand side, we'll be coming up on it, you're going to see some ice right on the shore line. People walking their dogs. That's a trail over there that you can cycle and walk on. I don't like to be on it because it's illegal. So I'm going to go down here further and show you the ice that is built up on the shore of our city. A lot of people walking in this weather. I don't pass any scooter riders. I'm the only idiot out here riding in this weather. But that's okay. It gets me out of the house, gives me some fresh air, and I enjoy that. Today's Sunday. There's a lot of people out driving along the parkway. They do that. They'll drive from Fort Erie town to Niagara Falls, just for something to do. Okay, so now coming up here on my right, you can see the ice that has formed. The chunks of it. This just comes over the edge of the wall here in chunks. It just sits there until it melts. Pretty wild, eh? It's a mountain of it. It just keeps coming. That's what happens in Fort Erie when the water freezes and the winds are 100 kilometers an hour. A lot of people don't know how to pass a scooter. They're not quite sure what to do. They sit there and I don't know, what should I do? How should I get by this guy? I'm heading down past the Chinese restaurant here on the right. It is called Happy Jack's, and just immediately to my left, my street is there. But I'm going to ride past that today, and I'm going to head out to old downtown Fort Erie. Yep, a lot of cars. today. Everybody's riding around, having a good time. I don't get too far out of town. I don't really feel like pushing my scooter home. So I'm riding it slow. Slow is good in the winter. Just went past my street. See, yeah, got a lot of cars. Everybody's heading down the parkway for something to do. See the ice in the river forming. So, you know, this is a bicycle lane that I'm on here, so I'm actually in the clear. Anybody wants to drive by me, they can. People walking their dogs again. A lot of dogs in Fort Erie. I think we're probably the dog capital of the world. So I'm heading north. Niagara Falls is north of Fort Erie. And you head north of Fort Erie and the weather gets warmer. Weather gets warmer, they get less snow than we do. It's like living in the banana belt. Yep. There goes everybody in their warm cars. Heading down the parkway. Summertime is beautiful along this road with the trees and the water. Beautiful scenery all the way down. Actually, you can go from Fort Erie all the way to Niagara Lake. That's about 50 kilometers from here. And follow the river all the way down from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario. Fingers are starting to freeze. Not a very good temperature to be out, but as I said, I like having my fresh air. We're going to come up to, you can see it now, it's a train bridge. It's actually a functioning train bridge. We're going to head underneath that, and then the old town of Fort Erie is just on the other side. I love this time of year because the air's fresh, you know, no bugs. The only thing is you gotta stay warm. Fort Erie Underwater Recovery Unit. Okay, so here comes the bridge. It's if we continued down Parkway here, we would continue until we get to Chippewa, and then we would go right down to the falls from there. But I am not going there. I am staying in Fort Erie today. I don't want to push my bicycle home. Battery's frozen. And I'm going to head up this way to old downtown Fort Erie. Not much happening on a cold winter day. It's busy during the week. People down here, stores are open, cars are parked along the side. But not today. Today's Sunday and everybody's at home. This is where things started. There's the post office. Right there. And then up here we're going to turn left and head back home. Because I really am getting cold. Trying to keep the battery going, man, is not a good thing. We're going to come up to Central Avenue here. We're turning left, going over the new overpass they built last summer. Heading back towards Lake Erie. You see the pavement is white. The white, when pavement goes white like that, you know it's cold out. And there's the railroad track that heads back down towards the parkway. My scooter is freezing. Heading back towards my house. Fire station coming up here on the left hand side. Something else I'm going to show you too. Actually, it's quite cool. If I can get into the parking lot here. Up here on the left is a plane that sits on a pedestal. Must be something special going on here. Don't really there's many cars. But there's the plane there. And then on down here, I'm going to show you the engine. Old locomotive engine. Actually quite cool. Right here. Port Erie has their own antique steam engine. Okay, I gotta get back around this way. And miss the snow on the sidewalk. Then I'll head back this way. There you can see the plane. Okay, back on the road again. I'm heading towards Birdie Street. At least the roads are dry, which is something considering what we've been through. Another is there a public library, Port Erie Public Library. I got people that yeah, they gotta get going there. It's important that they get themselves to Tim Hortons. I'm going to come up to Birdie Street and then we're going to go home. Fort Erie, the retirement city of the Niagara region. They are either retired here or in the summertime they have cottages, especially the Americans. Americans have cottages. Now this guy hurried up here so that he could stop at the stoplight. And that's how we stop in Fort Erie. It's just called a swing around. Yeah, called a swing around. Alright, so now we're on Birdie Street and we're heading home. It's a good thing I didn't leave the city limits. Because it's a cold, cold, cold. Okay, I'm gonna sign off. Guys, have a great day. Drive safe, and we'll talk to you soon.